in the struggle for Zimbabwe's freedom, one man emerged as a symbol of resistance, unity, and resilience. A man whose journey would intertwine with the fate of the entire nation. A man who dared to challenge the very fabric of colonial rule, standing tall against the forces of oppression. He was Joshua Nkomo, the father of Zimbabwe. This is his story. Born on June 19, 1917, in the heart of Matabeleland, Joshua Nkomo was the son of a cattle rancher and a preacher. Raised in a family of 8 siblings, young Nkomo was no stranger to hard work or perseverance. His family, like many others under the yoke of colonial rule, struggled to make ends meet. The harsh realities of colonialism were a daily challenge, shaping his early worldview. Yet the seeds of ambition and a thirst for knowledge were sown to create a beacon of hope for young Nkomo. Nkomo's father, a progressive farmer and community leader, instilled in him the importance of education. He believed that knowledge was the key to breaking the chains of oppression. This belief propelled the young Nkomo to excel in his studies, eventually earning him a place at the prestigious Adams College in South Africa. It was there that Nkomo's political awakening began. He witnessed firsthand the brutal realities of apartheid, a system designed to dehumanize and segregate. This system mirrored the oppression back home in Rhodesia, reinforcing his resolve to fight against such injustices. Furthermore, in South Africa, he was exposed to other revolutionary figures, including Nelson Mandela. This experience ignited a fire in him, a burning desire to fight for justice and equality. He knew that change was not only necessary but inevitable for fighting against colonial oppression. Nkomo's time in South Africa transformed him from a bright young student into a passionate advocate for social change, deeply committed to the cause of liberation. Returning to Rhodesia in 1947, Nkomo immersed himself in the struggle against colonial injustice, determined to make a significant impact. He recognized that the path to liberation lay in uniting the oppressed masses, understanding that collective action was the key to challenging the colonial powers. His natural charisma and ability to connect with people drew him to the burgeoning trade union movement, a hotbed of resistance against exploitative labor practices. Nkomo's speeches resonated deeply with the workers, inspiring them to stand up for their rights. Nkomo's rise within the trade union ranks was meteoric, as he quickly became a prominent figure in the movement. He possessed a rare combination of sharp intellect, strategic thinking, and genuine empathy for the crisis of the workers. His ability to articulate their struggles and aspirations made him a beloved leader. His efforts culminated in his election as the leader of the Southern Rhodesia African Trade Union Congress in 1948, giving him a powerful platform to challenge the colonial regime and advocate for workers' rights. However, Nkomo soon realized that the fight for workers' rights was inextricably linked to the broader struggle for political liberation. The quest for economic justice could not be separated from the demand for political freedom. The colonial government's relentlessness and brutal suppression of oppositional thinking was a huge burden to the people, and made it clear that a more organized political effort was needed. In 1953, he ran for parliament in the first federal election, but failed to win the necessary votes and lost. This defeat opened him up to many new ways of thinking, and it was just one of many battles he fought for freeing his people. The Southern Rhodesian ANC branch became the Southern Rhodesia African National Congress, and in 1957 Nkomo was elected chairman. By the late 1950s, the Southern Rhodesian government, threatened by growing nationalist movements, banned the African National Congress. Nkomo narrowly escaped mass arrests, and his fight took him into exile. But Nkomo was a man who refused to stay silent. From London to Lusaka, he built the foundations of what would become one of Zimbabwe's most formidable liberation movements in 1961, ZAPU, the Zimbabwe African People's Union. This marked a significant shift in the struggle for liberation. ZAPU quickly gained mass support, becoming a potent symbol of black nationalism and a thorn in the side of the colonial administration. The white minority government banned the ZAPU party 9 months after it was formed in September 1962. ZAPU split in 1963 with Sithole and Mugabe taking their supporters and forming the Zimbabwe African National Union, ZANU. Joshua Nkomo stayed in ZAPU, but he had to defend his position. By the time of independence, ZAPU's armed wing Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army had developed a modern military force. Joshua Nkomo was detained at Gukurahundi restriction camp by Ian Smith's government in 1964 until 1974. The Rhodesian Bush War erupted in the same year on July 4, 1964, with ZAPU supported by the Soviet Union and ZANLA backed by China. While both groups fought against Rhodesian security forces, they also clashed with each other. In June 1979, Cuba and Mozambique offered military assistance to the Patriotic Front, but Mugabe and Nkomo declined. North Korean military officials trained Zimbabwean militants in explosives and arms. By April 1979, 12,000 ZANLA guerrillas were training in Tanzania, Ethiopia and Libya, while 9,500 operated within Rhodesia. Meanwhile, South Africa provided covert support to the Rhodesian government. Amid heavy casualties, peace negotiations began, leading to the Lancaster House talks in 1979. Nkomo played a key role along with other nationalist leaders in advocating for the one-man, one-vote system for an independent Zimbabwe. This led to the first elections in March 1980, allowing black Rhodesians to vote. Despite reaching their ultimate goal, displacement of Smith's minority regime, Nkomo could not reconcile his differences with Mugabe. Ideological differences kept the two men apart as Mugabe's Marxism clashed with Nkomo's Georgist reformism. In the 1980 elections, Nkomo's ZAPU won 20 seats, but Mugabe's party, ZANU-PF, was dominating. Tensions between the two led to the Gukurahundi, when Mugabe's private 5th Brigade targeted Nkomo's supporters and the Ndebele people, killing up to 20,000. Nkomo fled the country but returned to sign the 1987 Unity Accord, merging ZAPU with ZANU-PF to end the violence. Although he became vice president in 1990, his influence waned as Mugabe consolidated power. On July 1, 1999, at the age of 82, Joshua Nkomo passed away, leaving behind a complex legacy. To some, he was a hero of the liberation struggle, earning the title Father Zimbabwe. To others, he was a symbol of the painful compromises. Stay curious, stay informed, stay tuned to Era Shapers.